G'day viewers, I'm Chris. Welcome to the creative space. As usual, let's head on over to the workbench and start getting creative. There you are. Welcome over to the workbench. So let's start getting creative. Today, after the popularity of my last paint pouring clip, I thought I would do another basic paint pouring activity where we look at how to create cells within the paint. Now, if you're not sure what a cell is when we talk about flow art, it's kind of like the blobs of different colored paint within the other paint. You'll get the idea of when we have a look at it. So the things that we're going to use today are some MDF coasters. Now with these, you'll need to put an undercoat or sealer on to it, because if you've ever used just plain MDF with paint, it kind of acts a bit like a sponge and it'll absorb the paint up. Plus, having the brown base, the colors are a bit duller than if you put it on a white base. So I've just used a spray undercoat on these, and just 2 coats of it, and it's coated it really well. We will also need pouring paint, and look, I know I keep using these Kmart stuff, but honestly, it's the cheapest around. I know some dollar shops you can get pouring paint fairly cheap. A couple I looked at, the paint was double the price of what these ones are. So I thought, why not? I'll try some different colors in this clip from this one. So you'll need some pouring paint. You'll need some little cups. These are just from the party section. Just little shot glasses. And the 3 additives that we're going to try today is a dishwashing liquid, dish soap. We're going to be using a rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol, and we'll be using a silicone oil as well. So for each of these, a silicone oil, I got this at a dollar shop, but you can also go to a hardware store and get silicone lubricant. That will do the same job. If you don't have the rubbing alcohol, of course you can use just isopropyl alcohol, anything that has ISP in it, and whatever kind of dishwashing liquid that you have at home. So this is the basic things that we're going to need today. So let's get testing and see which of these 3 additives works the best in creating cells. Alright, now I've set up the workbench with a drip tray this time, rather than the old paint sheet that I had in previous episode. So I've got the 3 coasters resting up on the little shot glasses, just to raise them up for the paint to drip over. It also helps to block the reflection from the light. So what we're going to try, we're going to do the 3 different types. So I reckon we'll go dish soap over here on our first one. Then we'll try the rubbing alcohol, and then we'll do the silicone on the end. And what we're going to be doing is putting the paint into each of the cups. So we're going to use the 3 colors, and we're then going to put that into 3 cups and then add each additive to each. So how about we get the paint into the cups, and we'll get going. Alright, so we're going to put just a couple of drops of dishwashing liquid into each of these. And then we'll mix it around. And then a couple of drops of the rubbing alcohol in each of these ones. And then in our final one, we're going to put about 3 drops of the silicone in each of these. So now I've tipped all 3 into a single cup, and we're going to do the flip over method for each of these. Now we're just going to let them sit there for a little bit for all the paint to drip down, and then we'll reveal them to see what they actually look like. Alright, here we go. So let's do the dish liquid first. And you can see some cells developing already with that. That looks pretty cool. The alcohol. And finally the silicone. Now the other thing I forgot to mention is that it's probably a good idea to have gloves, wearing gloves for this, but I forgot to get some. Now let's just move these around a little bit. So you can see, I don't know, the light might be reflecting on them, but you can certainly see the cells that have developed in that one. So they're the 3 results. So if we take a closer look, this is the dishwashing soap one. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of cell formation actually on that one. That's the rubbing alcohol one, which has a few cells in the bottom there. And then the silicone one, which has some cells certainly, but yeah, I was expecting more. So there we go. There's the 3 styles, and I think in looking at that, depending on how they are when they dry, so I'll take them out now and let them dry, and then we'll see what they look like when they've had a chance to fully dry. Alrighty, so I've had them drying, and the effects are pretty cool. Now this is the dishwashing one, and I'd have to say I'm pretty impressed by that. It's the one that has the most cell formation on it. Coming over to the isopropyl alcohol. And look, maybe I may not have put enough in the mix, or it may not have had enough alcohol in it. There is that little area there of cells, but the rest, it's a nice design, but not a lot of cell formation in it. And then the silicone, well, if we do it on the side, you see that it does have cells. Maybe I just didn't use enough lighter color in it for it to come through. And I think I would probably add a bit more silicone to the paint to get a better effect. But now that it's dried, it certainly has a lot more cell formation in it. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this clip, and hopefully you'll get to have a try of doing some flow art. Well, unfortunately, we've come to the end of another creative space. Why don't you click on that bell to get notified of new content? Click on the subscribe button as well. That'd be great. Share us with your friends and get them creative as well. Because you know that every day is a good day to be creative. See ya. Hmm.